Snapshot 24w20a is here with a change with huge implications for redstone farming, new sounds for pistons, and more fixes and tweaks. My name is Slime and this is a video with all the changes. Let's start with mob news. The big change in this version is that witches now always drop redstone in addition to other drops. Without looting, the amount of redstone is from 4 to 8. This increases with at most 1 for each level of looting for a total of 4 to 11 at looting 3. Some fixes for the Bogged. Bogged now replace the spawns of 30% of the skeletons in the swamps, which is down from 33%. Overall, compared to the previous snapshot, Bogged and skeletons are now both less prevalent than other mob types. Together, they match the amount of skeletons in previous full versions. Shearing a Bogged now spawns the mushroom items where they are on the Bogged instead of on the ground, and now also works even if the do mob loot game rule is turned off. In sound news, buttons now make the activation sound instead of the deactivation sound when pressed again. And pistons have a new sound to reduce the amount of ear-shattering clank when using redstone machinery. In gameplay news, the crafter no longer gets stuck on similar recipes after one has been put in. The maze now loses durability from any attack, not only smash attacks. The weaving, oozing, and wind-charged effects now work properly for players when the do immediate respawn game rule is set to true. And when max entity cramming is set to 0, oozing would prevent slimes from getting spawned, which is also marked as fixed in this version, but more on oozing later. Using horse armor or wolf armor on an armor stand no longer causes the item to vanish, and mobs that can pick up items can no longer pick up and wear horse armor and wolf armor. Status effects now carry over properly when returning to the overworld from the end. Projectiles now inherit the momentum of the player who fired them in some situations where they didn't before, like when riding an entity. And you can now sprint jump into a 2-block ceiling when standing next to it once again. More fixes for enchantments in this version. Soul speed once again works through partial blocks like carpets and slabs, and once again makes soul particles pop out. Adding fire protection or blast protection to horse armor now has all their aspects applied to the horse. Previously, the fire duration decrease of fire protection and the explosion knockback resistance from blast protection would not work. And channeling now works properly in survival mode again. This also affects advancements, where the very frightening advancement now triggers properly once again. In user interface news, the timer in the demo version of the game and the auto-saving game indicator now both properly follow the text background setting. The attributes listed in tooltips for items no longer list the same thing for all armor slots for effects that work in multiple slots. Instead, modifiers that work when the item is equipped in any slot are shown as when equipped. Those that work when the item is held in either hand are shown as when held, and those that work when the item is worn in an armor slot are shown as when worn. List entries in the social interaction screen no longer render over the background, and the blur slider now properly shows only the available values. Some font fixes. Hangul fonts are no longer rendered with some pixels missing, and the Japanese CJK variants now use the appropriate diacritic. The credits of the game have also been updated. In addition, this version contains a number of stability fixes, including for chunk saving errors, network connectivity issues, and crashes. However, this version also contains a known stability issue. An entity dying with the oozing effect causes the game to crash. And finally, this version also includes some technical news, increasing the datapack version to 44 for a new location predicate and improved attribute handling. If you're also interested in that, keep an eye out on the channel for a separate video coming shortly. But that is all for this video. My name is Slime, thank you for watching, I'll see you next time.